Hello and welcome to the Grianaig Creations podcast. My name is Kirsty. This is episode 62 and I am coming to you from the west coast of Scotland. Today is a rather dreary day. It's not very nice. It's very grey. There's not a single bit of blue sky. It's been raining on and off and it's kind of been like this for about the last week and a half. So hoping the weather will pick up again, but this is normal weather for my neck of the woods at least, so I'll make do. No, I can't change the weather. So yeah, I was meant to record last week, but I had to do some additional work for the company I work for. And after I completed that work, I didn't really want to do anything. I didn't want to craft. Certainly didn't really want to podcast. So I just kind of took that weekend to myself, and I almost done the same this weekend. I am experiencing a bit of a pain in the back of my head, and it's because I need to crack my neck. I know some people are very against cracking bones, but I have to. But no matter what I try, I can't crack it, and because of that, it's causing pain to go right up into the base of my skull, and it is causing headache. And I have been like this for 2 days now. So once it cracks, I will be very happy. I will be pain free. So I can feel my headache sitting just above my eyebrows and in my temples, and it's not pleasant, but I can't get my neck to crack at all, so I'm gonna get my neck warmer and see if it might just ease some of the tension at least. It's certainly been making life a little bit more difficult to focus, to complete my work, and to actually want to craft as well. So yeah, that's that. Excuse me. I want to start this podcast with a more serious note that I probably have taken on the podcast before. There's been a lot going on in the world. There's a lot of uprising, and rightly so. A lot of people standing up for what is right. So I stand for Black Lives Matter. I feel that shouldn't need to be said. We shouldn't need to point out racism because we're in 2020. This should have been gone long ago, but sadly that is not the case. And I do stand for the Black Lives Matter movement. I feel that if you turn around and say all lives matter, or worse yet, white lives matter, you need to sit down and look at your life, look at your privilege. And I've been doing that, and it's very uncomfortable, and it's not meant to be comfortable. It's meant to be very uncomfortable. I've been looking at how my prejudices were ingrained in me from when I was young. And I'm working on changing that. I'm educating myself. I am learning. And it's not comfortable. It's really not comfortable. It's very uncomfortable. It's very unsettling. But it has to be done. We should not have racism in 2020. The police should not be able to kill and murder people. They are there to protect. They are not there to murder innocent people. So if you don't stand for the Black Lives Matter, and you're one of those people turning around and saying all lives matter, if black lives don't matter, how can all lives matter? Answer me that. You cannot turn around and say all lives matter when there's a whole host of people that don't matter to some people in this world. They are the dirt on the bottom of their shoe. That's how little they matter to some people. So how can you turn around and say all lives matter when these people are left to feel like absolute nothing? They're human beings. They have human rights. Treat them like you would treat your sister, your brother, your best friend. Stop treating them like shit. Another point I want to get across at the beginning of this is that I support people that are transgender. I am horrified and disgusted at J.K. Rowling's comments recently and the way she is creating damage from her beliefs, and her horrible beliefs at that. Transgender lives matter. They really do. You can't turn around and say that just because they were born male but identify as female that they are not, that's not right, that they're not, they don't have rights. I don't agree with it at all. You can't turn around and say you can only be a woman if you menstruate. I was born female. I identify as female. I am not transgender. But I have polycystic ovarian syndrome. That means that sometimes my body doesn't do what it should do. For 12 months, my body did not go through the female process. I didn't have a period for 12 months. So what does that make me? My body's not going through menstruation, so I'd love to know her point of view on that. Shut her down. So if you identify as transgender, you're very welcome here. You're welcome here if you are from the BIPOC community. You're welcome here if you are from the LGBTQIA plus community. You're welcome here if you do not have hatred in your heart. So yeah. If you don't follow the Black Lives Matter movement, if you don't support it, if you are against trans people, if you are against the LGBTQIA plus community, please leave. I don't want you here. I don't want your hate here. Okay, so by then, those people should have left and we can continue on. It's a very heavy thing to start the podcast with, but I don't see the point in recording all the knitting content to then have that part at the end. So I'd rather be upfront about it, say it right now. I don't care if I lose followers, I don't have many to begin with. I've been losing and gaining followers on Instagram and I really don't care. It's just numbers at the end of the day. And I don't care if I lose them here either. I would rather be open and honest than not say anything and then find out down the line that I've got a whole bunch of racists following me or people that are against transgender or the LGBTQ plus IA community. I'd rather find out now. So yeah, looking off to my side, don't actually know where to begin. Apologies for the seagulls, I do live by the water. I can't do anything about that. I'm not closing my window because it's very muggy today and I want the fresh air to come through. So, sorry, you're on a box and I'm recording on my laptop. It's very wobbly. Excuse me. And we're on my bed. So I started knitting the Soldotna Crap and I ended up trying on fairly late into the game. Now, I know some of you are going to shout saying, Kirsty, did you not learn your lesson from your Sunset Highway? No, clearly I didn't. I tried this on a wee bit too late and found out that it was just a little bit too big. So here's the finished sweater. I still love the colours and I would love to make myself another one with some modifications. So it's not been blocked and my mum doesn't really care for it to be blocked because I've now gifted this to my mum who loves it so much. I don't know if you can see this bit on the neck. I followed the shaping and it sits fine when you wear it. It sits absolutely fine when you wear it, but flat, it just looks weird. Like, seriously. So I have a feeling when I go to make this, I'm probably just going to omit this whole section here. From my fingers up, I'm just not going to put it in. I would like a wider neckline, and one of my cats is outside. I like the fabric. I like how it's made up. I don't think, well, I know for a fact it was probably a tension issue and a gauge issue, which is why it's a lot bigger than it should have been. But I like the fabric that it knits up. So I think I would do it exactly the same needle sizes. I wouldn't change that, but I would go down a size or two. I think. I say that, and I'll probably just try and do the whole gauge thing again, because I did do a gauge swatch. So I don't know where I went wrong, but I went wrong. Clearly, because it's massive. But my mum's very happy to have a top, but she just wishes it was just a wee bit cooler, that she could actually wear it, and I agree. So when I was knitting this, I really, really fell in love with this colour, and I was just like, what can I make? Because I didn't want to jump straight into making another one. I wanted to have like a palette cleanser, and I was like, what can I make in this colour? What sweater can I make in this colour? So you'll see that in a moment. But this is a finished object. All ends have been woven in. It has not been blocked, as I've said, but my mum doesn't care. She doesn't feel it needs block because she doesn't want it to be any bigger. But also this is 100% acrylic yarn. This was made in, I don't have a ball band to hand, Wendy Pixley, Pixile. I'm sure it's Wendy. I'll correct if I'm wrong on that one. But I really, really love this colour. Really, really love this colour. I just love all the colours together. I was really worried about this blue with this beige, because it is quite difficult to see. It's coming up a lot. You can see it a lot more on the screen than you can in real life, but you can see it in real life. But if I was to knit this again, I would change out that blue for a slightly more vibrant blue. But yeah, I'm definitely going to be making another one, but I doubt it'll be anytime soon, just because it's very disheartening when you make something with the intention of it being for you and then it's not for you. So I'm not in any rush to make another one, but I do want one for myself. So that's finished object number 1. Finished object number 2 is a pair of socks. These are the Rainbow Connection socks by Kay Litton, who is the crazy sock lady. The colourful stripy yarn is Laughing Yaffle. I used to know the colourway off the top of my head, but with this headache I can't think of it. I think it's Unicorn Tails. And the black is Rico. It's a Rico sock yarn, and I really love this. Like, they're just so cheery, they're so bright, they're awesome. I would change a couple of things. I would change the toe, it's just a wee bit too pointy for me. I would make the toe a wee bit longer in the black. I wouldn't make the, actually most of what I change, everything I change is just the toe. So I'd extend, knit a couple of rounds just plain in the black before I started my decreases. I wouldn't have decreased down to as small as I have on the pattern. I would decrease down to 14 instead of 12, just because I feel like those extra 2 stitches is actually quite comfortable because of the way my toes are. I always like a heel flapping gusset. I feel it fits very, very well. But these are longer than I would normally wear, so that was interesting. I think if I made them again, I'd probably make the start the colour work. I say colour work because it's not really colour work, it's striping. I'd start it about here, so my cuff would probably start where I've started the striping. But yeah, I really enjoyed these. Such a quick knit. It was so different from just a vanilla sock, but yet it was also mindless. Like, after a while, I knew the pattern off by heart. I could work it when I was on work calls. I could work it without even being like, right, okay, what do I do again? Like, I'm pretty sure now, even though it's been 2.5, even maybe 3 weeks since I've made these, I could probably actually just sit and whip up a pair, not have to review the pattern again. I really enjoyed them. It's so nice to have a pattern sock that is so simple. It's normally why I don't do pattern socks, is because I feel like I'm glued to the pattern itself, trying to like figure out what comes next and what stitch I'm using, what row I'm on. This I loved. It was just 2 rows and that's it. And it's only, the stitch is only over half the sock. So yeah, highly recommend this pattern if you're making it. I know Stripey Cat yarns, please tell me that's right. I should know that off by heart now because I'm obsessed. Talk amongst yourselves. Yeah, Stripey Cat yarns. I know she has kits for this if anyone was interested, because she does amazing striped, self-striping yarn. My brain's not 100% with me, folks, so bear with me, and my hay fever's kicking in. I should give up now, but if I don't record this weekend, I don't know when I will. So yeah, she has kits and I'm obsessed with her, so you should go follow her. I am waiting on an order coming. My first order from her is coming. I'm so excited. But yeah, these are the Rainbow Connection socks by Kay Litton of the Crazy Sock Lady podcast. I have a half finished object and it's just a vanilla sock. I just needed something simple and quick and something I didn't have to think about. This is made up. Tags are right there. Let me just grab it 2 seconds. Oh, second tag. Oh, I'm dropping things. Sorry, folks. So, the contrasting heels, heel, your heel is not down here, heel, toe and cuff. This is made in Pixel Atlantis. It's not really coming up too well. In the Poisonous Poppies. It's just a 20 gram mini. 75-25, so 75 superwash merino, 25% nylon, and in the 20 gram mini there's 85 meters. So that's these. And then the body of the sock is made up in stranded dyeworks. And this is the Flamingo Legs colourway. I've had this in my stash for a while and I really just wanted something I didn't have to cake up. I didn't want to have to deal with hanks, as I couldn't be bothered. So I went with a sock blank. I really need to find dyers that do sock blanks because I really love working from them. Especially on days where my spoons are really low and I can't. Even though I've got an electric ball winder, sometimes it's just the effort of getting it on the thing that holds the yarn winder. No, that's the ball winder. Oh, you know the thing you put the yarn on for the ball winder. Sometimes just even putting it on that is a lot of energy, and then finding all the bits of yarn to tie, like cut off. So I really like using sock blanks because they're just so easy. So yeah, this is the Stranded Dyeworks and the Flamingo Legs. It is 75 superwash merino 25% nylon, and there's 425 meters in this sock blank. So you see that this has got like a lot of black in the bottom, and then it starts just going straight into the pink. I have the sock blank here, and if I unroll it, you can see that the next bit of pink, the next bit where there's black is here in the sock blank, and then it goes mostly back to the pinks again. So what I am doing is hoping to get 4 socks out of this, so 2 pairs of socks. So because of that, we're going to jump straight into works in progress because I have one here. So I've picked another mini. This is, she looks for the tag. I know it's Vicky Brown Designs, but I don't know the colourway. And this was one of the 20 gram minis that I got from my advent calendar 2 years ago. So I've got a different mini that I'll be using for the heels, toes and cuffs. Why is that so hard to say? And I'm knitting the sock blank so that I'll get one where there's not that much black in it, and then once I get back to the black, I'll make the second one, because I feel like even if I had the same contrasting heels, toes and cuffs, they really would just be the oddest looking socks, and I don't mind that. I'm not against that, but I feel like this is just too different. Like, take out the contrasting heels, toes and cuffs, right? Let's ignore that. Fold that up. Like, it's just too different. So the hope is that I'll be able to get a full sock whilst knitting on the most of the pink. Then I'll be able to get the next black into pink, and then I'll be able to get, hopefully, a pink. So I'm giving myself a lot of work. I acknowledge that, I accept that. No, I don't accept that. I'm lying. I don't accept that. I really didn't think this through. But I wasn't sure how it was going to knit up. But I'm still glad I done it. But I've certainly given myself a lot of work for something that should be really, really simple. And I had started the toe on the second one of this, and I had it on my needles, and then I realised just how different the socks were going to be, so I took the needles out, and then the ball of yarn fell behind my cabinet, so haven't managed to fish that out yet. I'll get there. I don't need it just yet. It can stay there for a little while. I know what it is should I need it. But yeah, I'm really happy with it. Like, I really like how it's striped. I love how sock blanks can stripe. Not all of them do, but some of them can stripe like this, and I really, really like it. So yeah, we'll see how this turns out. It could be an absolute shambles. I could be wasting my time, but we'll see. Won't know until I try. So, show this one off. Most of my projects are not living in project bags right now, which is shocking considering the number of project bags I have. So, I've been working on and off. Wow, there's a lot of my hair on this. I've been working on and off on my granny stripe blanket. Doesn't look like much, but I swear I've put progress on. I even put a progress keeper on. So from this progress keeper, I have, I think I worked it out as 12. 1, 2, yeah, 12 rows. I've put on 12 rows, which again, doesn't look like a lot, but this is fingering weight yarn on a 3.5mm hook. And I just love this. Like, I will pull this out every so often. It's not something I can mindlessly do like a sock because, oh no, I think I'm unraveling. Oh no, I'm not, it's fine. I left a big enough tail. It's not something I can mindlessly do like at my desk because there's just so much fabric, and I I still have to look when I'm crocheting. I don't have to look when I'm knitting, but I have to look when I'm crocheting. So it's not a very mindless project in that aspect, but it brings me a lot of peace right now. I really enjoy working on it. But I'm conscious that I don't have much yarn. So yeah. I just love the colours, honestly. Like, look at all that colour. It's just so awesome. So yeah, this is all I've got in this magic ball. I then might be able to make another one. I'll be lucky if I get like half a blanket. But that's what happens. I'm only making it out of opal yarn. I like the feel. It's getting really dark outside. I think we're going to be in for another rainstorm. I'm only making it out of opal yarn, so if anyone does have any opal yarn they're willing to get rid of, please hit me up. I will happily take it off your hands. But it's getting a wee bit of love. Not too much, but a wee bit. Because there's 2 other projects currently taking up all my time. I'll show this one off. So the lady in work, I made the crochet doll nurse for her daughter. Her son is having his first kid. Now bear in mind, I've never met any of her children. I just know and love her to pieces. And I find a lot of joy at the moment in making for other people. Whether you want to call it selfish knitting or whatever term you use for only making things for yourself, that was me. I only made stuff for myself, and then I started making socks for my mum, sort of begrudgingly. But now I'm finding a lot of joy in making things for other people. Oh, I've got such an itchy nose. Goddamn allergies. Yeah, so I was one of those people that only made for myself. I didn't like making for other people. If other people asked me to make things, I would be like, ugh, really? Fine. Especially when I made Scott a hat and he didn't like wearing it because it was itchy. It was BFL. BFL is not itchy. So decided I wanted to make them a blanket. Now I decided, she in no way hinted, she would never ask that unless she really wanted me, really like was willing to pay me to make something. Now that's not me saying she must pay me in order for me to make something. She feels that she would have to pay me. So I made the doll and she kept being like, how much do I owe you? How much do I owe you? And I was like, nothing. I don't want your money. And then when she told me that our son was expecting, I was over the moon. And I decided I wanted to make them a blanket. It's not finished. I have just started a second round. And it's still quite small. It's acrylic yarn because I don't know how they would be with non-acrylic yarn. Like if I gave them wool, I don't know how they would feel about it. I don't know if they wear wool items as it is. Because her mum, I don't think Tracy was into knitting before. I think she must have knit at some point, and then well yeah, because she knew how to knit. I taught her to knit socks, but she knew how to knit. But she doesn't knit just now. And I don't know what portion of the kids growing up that she did knit, so I don't know how they are with wool. So I don't want to make a wool blanket. So it is 100% acrylic. This is the Crochet Wool Eater blanket. I think that's right. I'll put it in the description box if I'm wrong. And I'm making this out of, let me just, so this is how this came. This is a kit out of Aldi, which is a supermarket here in the UK. And I've started from this colour and I'll be working right through, so I've not long finished with that one. I've got the purple still to go. And then I'm teaming that up with some cream. Yep, some pale cream, which is a red heart yarn. I snagged this from my mum because I don't have much acrylic stash. And I decided that instead of just working just the colours, because it wouldn't be enough yarn. Hey, it started raining. I knew it wouldn't be enough yarn without the white, so I added the white in. And I don't think it's going to be big enough if I don't start going backwards. So after the white, I'll go up to the purple. And then the thought process is I'll either leave it as that, as like a car seat cover or a baby carrier cover. My mum was saying they normally just carry them in car seats, like the one with the handle, for the first couple of months. So this would be a good size for that. Or whether once I get to the purple, I'll start working backwards. So I'll go with the dark red, the red, the orange, and then the yellow. So that's, I have two options. But it also really depends on how much the purple takes, because if the purple takes quite a lot, I risk not being able to do the reverse because of how much yarn I have. I only have one of those kits, and one row has yet to take up the full 50 grams. So I might be able to make it work. Not 100% sure yet. But I also don't want to make it too large in case they don't like it, because this is a surprise. They don't know this is being made. If they know it's being made, they don't know the colours, they don't know the pattern, they know nothing about it. So I run the risk of making something really beautiful for it to get put in the bin. Or, not saying they'd bin it, just not use it. So that's my conundrum. Do I make it big enough to cover the baby carry and that's it? Or do I make it big enough to actually be a baby blanket? Because either way, they're either going to absolutely love it, or they're going to be like, what the heck, and never use it. And I would rather make something small that they're never going to use, or something large that they're going to love. Oh, there's method in that madness. There is method in that madness, I promise. But I'm really, really enjoying working on that. Like, super enjoying working on that. It takes a while to get. I need to sneeze. Oh, jeez. I can feel it. I can feel it just sitting there. I'm really, really enjoying working on it. It's just so different. Like, I just love that. I love that pattern. I love that stitch. I had a project started in that pattern, and then if you remember, I lost it. I couldn't find it. Finally found it. Thought it was up on top of my wardrobe. Turns out I was wrong. It's actually in the stool that's at the side of my bed that helps my oldest cat, Socks, get up onto the bed because he's an old boy. And so I'd been looking and hunting for this project because it had balls of yarn and everything. It was in a bag. It was in my Moomin's bag that I got from London when Scott and I went down. And for the life of me, I couldn't find it. And I was so angry because I really enjoyed the pattern, really enjoyed the project, and I flippin' loved the bag. So when I finally found it, I was over the moon. And everything smells very sheepy, but the yarn's acrylic. So what actually happened was I have some carded up fleece that I bought from the Northern Point. Oh, I can't remember now. It was when Scott and I were coming back up from Liverpool. We stopped in at a shop in Lancaster, and I bought this big massive braid of fibre that's carded up fleece. And It's so sheepy and wonderful. And I've stored it in the exact same box that the start of the blanket was in. And so even though it's acrylic yarn, it smells so sheepy. So yeah, that's that story. That's that side step. I literally had something else in the brain there, just as I was saying all that, and I can't remember now. But my headache is starting to lift a little bit. Okay, so last project. I decided after the shambles that is the Soldotna Crap, that I wanted to make a pattern that I knew I had done, that I could not mess up, but yet I wanted to modify. So, bring in the Amma sweater. The Amma sweater is a pattern by Maddie Harvey that goes by Harvey Knits on Instagram. Lovely human being. Haven't had the chance to really properly talk to her because she visited my stall at Perth last year to give me a little button, and she was just so sweet in like that minute visit that I got, because she had her meetup. And I adore my Amma sweater. I wore it out today actually. But I want more. I want it in so many different colours and so many variations. I'd like a short sleeve, a 3/4 sleeve. I love my full length sleeves. I want a longer body. I want slightly smaller, slightly less positive ease. And I want them in all the colours. All the colours. So if you remember me saying, I really, really wanted a garment in that beautiful orange yellow. Well, cue the garment in the beautiful orangey yellow. So this is why I actually quite like podcasting for not a few weeks, because I seem to get so much work done. I look so productive. I feel very productive. So yep, I have got quite a portion done. I've started the contrast at the bottom, and I've probably started it what some people would say maybe too late, but this is going to be the variation of the top that is going to have a slightly longer body. It's not going to be as cropped. I have plenty of this yarn, and so I'm going to take full advantage of using up stash. After all, I wouldn't be taking part in my own de-stash or stash busting should I not be doing that. So I've got 5 inches from this point here. I'm not going to say underarm because it is still oversized. Where it should be underarm isn't actually under my armpit. So from here to here is 5 inches. From the start of the contrast to where it is on the cable needle is currently 2 inches. I'm going to do another 2 inches before I start the hem at the bottom. So there's just a tiny bit of ribbing at the bottom, and then I'll bind off. So I've got at least another 2.5 inches to go, and then I will start the sleeves. But I really, really love these colours together. I think they're so amazing. And everyone, like, so kindly, when I put the picture up on my Instagram, everyone was so generous with their comments, just saying how much it suited me, how beautiful the colour was, how the combination was just so good. And then I showed Scott. Oh, it looks like Iron Brew. He's not too wrong when he says that. The blue is just not dark enough. I'm sorry, you guys are shaking. Sorry, that's me laughing. I'm gonna be walking around with a top that looks like Iron Brew. I'm okay with that. I think I should get some sort of sponsorship from Iron Brew for this top. Oh, could you imagine? Iron Brew for life. Iron Brew is life. It's really not. Oh, look at that double chin. Isn't that attractive? But yeah, I absolutely adore this. I can't wait for it to be finished. Tried it on again last night. Ellen, you'll be proud. I'm actually trying them on. And I'm really, really happy. It's still a little bit baggy, but not compared to my current Amma sweater, which has got quite a bit of positive ease. But that's the point in this sweater. And I'm not going to make this one as cropped. This one's going to be probably sitting where my waistband would sit. Unless you count the waistband of my tights, which pretty much sits under my bra. Oh, there's cat hair all over this thing. But yeah, this is the last project I'm going to show you guys. I bet you're happy about that, considering we're 40 minutes in. Right. Acquisitions. I actually have a couple. I treated myself. So, my friend Eva put me on to the fact that Mothy and the Squid had done a rerun of a colour that she said she wasn't going to do. Is that my phone? It was my phone. So she's done a rerun of this colour, which is Grey Skies Rainbow. 75% 75% merino, 25% nylon, superwash treated, 420 meters. So I had actually messaged her because I'd seen that she had a skein of this in her stash. Eva, this is. And I was just like, oh, please, 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 would you trade me? Because I made a pair of socks for my friend Pip in this yarn. And I don't think I have enough left for myself. Absolutely fine. I made those for Pip. I made the socks for Pip for a reason, because I felt like it would cheer her up. And I don't regret that. But I loved the yarn and I loved how it knitted up, and I was just like, oh, I'd love a pair. So I still have some of the yarn. I haven't weighed it to find out if I would be able to make a pair of socks. But Eva pointed me in the direction that there was going to be a limited run of the yarn again. So I bought it. So that's that purchase. And then the wonderful Yarn Badger. Now, you all know I love Yarn Badger. I've been supporting her for years. Done a new colourway. This is Rainbow Cake, and it is subtle, it is beautiful, it is sparkle, and it is joyful. Look at those colours. Aren't they just stunning? So this is the Superwash Merino Sparkle. It says 25% nylon, but I'm not 100% sure if that is correct, and it's 400 meters. So this was a pre-order, and I talked about this last time on the podcast or on the vlog, can't remember which one it was, and it arrived. And then the next acquisitions I didn't buy, I traded. So I decided in my delusional brain that I was going to see if people would be up for a self-striping sock swap, or just generally some yarn swaps. So I'd done an Instagram live and people showed some interest, and so I opened up a thread on my Ravelry. I listed the yarns that I was able to offer, which wasn't actually too many, because when I looked at my yarn I was like, yeah, I'm not willing to part with that, I'm not willing to part with that, I'm not willing to part with that. And so I found a couple of yarns I was willing to part with, and I put up yarns that I would gratefully receive in trade, and then a couple of other people jumped in and listed their yarn. So I listed a yarn that one of my best friends, Aileen, wanted, and I traded her for these. I think they're both, from what I remember, I think they're both West Yorkshire spinners. Like, the tag is here for this one, but I've never seen this West Yorkshire spinners before, but they're both just over 50 grams, which is just enough for me to make a pair for myself. I would need to put contrasting heels, toes and cuffs in, but I don't mind that. I've done it quite a lot, and yeah, so very happy with that. But then because she is an absolute sweetheart, she decided to pop in her leftovers from the Operation SJW. My hair is all over this. Which is, this one is from Chromatic Yarns. It even has the leftover accompanying contrast. So this is the Operation Social Justice insert class here on her sturdy sock, which is 75% blue face Leicester, 25% nylon. If it was the full 100 grams, you would have got 425 meters. But I think this, not actually sure how much this is. I haven't weighed it, so, but it was so kind of her to put this in. I was really blown away even when the parcel arrived. I was like, that's bigger than two hanks of yarn. What's she done? And then I opened it. I was like, oh my god! So yes, she is a wonderful human being, and I very much appreciate it. So yeah, as I've said earlier, I have an order coming from Stripy Cat Yarns. I ordered 2. Both are 50 grams with a contrasting 20 grams. Very much looking forward to those coming. And that's all I'll be buying for a while. I'm going to try and stay off Instagram today because it is another virtual yarn show and I can't be doing with that temptation. I just can't. I don't have the money because Scott and I are still saving up for a house. But yeah. Oh, one other bit of information. I have a sock machine coming. I purchased one back in... Someone's walking up my street with an Iron Brew umbrella. I want one. I purchased the sock machine at the very, very start of May. It was purchased as part of my anniversary gift from Scott and also some of my savings. And I can't wait for it to come. I don't think I'll get it until August because I think they just got inundated with orders. One of my friends, she actually bought one as well and it's shipped and arrived in America already and she's been using it. So I can't wait to see what she makes with hers, and I'll probably just start bombarding her with messages like that. How do you fix this? How do you fix this? So yeah, trying to think if there's anything else to say. Oh, gotta pick a winner. Okay, gonna pause. Actually, I'll just do it and talk to you at the same time. So we'll just talk about Ravelry in general. There was the GC Cat Hat Long, and me and my absolute god-awful human being skills forgot to draw a winner. So let's do that now, although nobody has added anything and I'm pretty sure it's just me and Missy in the chat. Yeah. Okay, so Missy wins from Ravelry. That's fairly easy. Missy, I don't think you watch the podcast, but if you do, if you could just drop me a message on Ravelry with your address, I will let you pick from a picture what you would like. And then I'm also actually going to just see if anyone was using the hashtag on Ravelry. No, not right. Instagram. GC Cat Hat Text. Okay, so this is really easy. This has been the easiest one that I've ever done. So Missy wins from Ravelry and Pip wins from Instagram. I know there was other people wanting to, but no one has either used the hashtag or put a picture up. So I did put on my Instagram that I'd be drawing a winner this weekend, and if everyone could jump in and put their pictures in. But people might not have seen it. So sorry if you've missed that and you've missed the chance, but we'll do some more giveaways fairly soon. Talking of alongs or whatever, make alongs, there is still the GC 2020 stash bust, which is basically exactly what it sounds like. We're going to try and use up yarn that has entered our stash before 2020. What I done was I took a picture of it all so that I could edit the picture and score out what I'd used. If that's not okay for you and you've got like your Ravelry updated, because I don't do that, then that's absolutely fine. You just need to kind of take a note of how much yarn you're using or what yarn you've used, and then you can also put pictures of your finished objects, keep a tally of the yarn that you've used, whatever you really want to do. There's a couple of threads for that, and one is like a finished objects thread if you want to jump in and put your items in there. I definitely need to catch up with that and start putting my stuff in. But yeah, myself and my lovely friend Deborah, who I did tell her this, but I don't see why I can't say it here. Deborah has the Dockfire Woman, or she's Dockfire Woman on Instagram, but she has the Diary of a Physicist Farm Gal podcast on Ravelry. Jesus, I do not actually function well when I have a headache. She has the Diary of a Physicist Farm Gal podcast on YouTube. And I've been going back and watching a lot of her older podcasts. Now, I found Deborah a couple of years ago. I found her last year, and for some reason I never went back and watched all her older episodes since before I discovered her. And I don't always do that with podcasters. I do it with some, but I don't do it with all of them. And I don't know, to me, Deborah is the voice of reason. And I always learn something in her podcasts. I always feel like I'm being nurtured as well, like I'm being guided and encouraged to do and be better. And I've just been up to my neck in stress with work recently, and having her podcasts on in the background or listening to them after work has just been very peaceful for me. It's been very grounding. And she had a make along back in 2018, and it's the I Am Worth It make along. And I sent her a message and I just said, you had this make along back in 2018. How would you feel about bringing it back now and doing a joint make along? We've still to hash out the details, but this will be coming. And it's basically going to be a make along where you use yarn or fabric or whatever from your stash that you felt was so precious that you just couldn't make something. Now's the time to pull it out. Now's the time to make something for yourself. So, excuse me. This is the I Am Worth It make along. Again, Deborah and I are to hash out details, so dates, whatever, whether we're going to post in her thread, whether we're going to post in my thread, whether we're going to post in 2 threads. So once I've got more details, I will be able to come to you with it. But I just thought it'd be good to mention it now so that you could have a look through your stash to see if you have something that would fit the bill for this. So do you have a sweaters quantity that you really wanted to make a specific sweater for, but you've just thought, nah, I've got so much other stuff to do? Or do you have a precious skein of 4-ply that you've been treasuring for ages and you've been holding on to it even though you know the project you want to use it? Now's the time to get one of those items out of your stash and make something for you. So I will announce more details once I've spoken to Deborah. I don't want to say my part without talking to her. But yeah, that will be coming soon. I'll mention it on the next podcast. I'll also put it up on Instagram, and I'll put a post in the Ravelry. And on that note, before we reach that hour, you can find me on Instagram as... What can you find me on Instagram as? You can find me on Instagram as Grianaig_creations, and you can find me on Ravelry as little-b. There is a Ravelry group, and I do need to update the graphics in that because it currently has the old name, but you can search for it as Grianaig Creations Podcast, and that should bring it up. If you've got any difficulties finding it, just message me on Instagram and I will point you in the right direction. We got there. I'm done. I'll stop rambling. But thank you so much for joining, and I hope you all have a really good day. Stay safe and stay crafting. Bye bye.